What's up, guys? Welcome back to Newswave. It's Friday. It's Octopath Day. I'm excited. Hopefully you guys are too. Hopefully if you're picking it up, you're ready to go get it today, or maybe you went out this morning to get it when like the GameStop or Best Buy, whoever opened up. I'm waiting for mine to be delivered. I'm getting the special edition. We'll unbox it here hopefully today. Amazon said it's coming, so hopefully we'll be doing that sooner rather than later, as I want to dive into that game pretty much over the entire weekend and have some fun. Definitely will be talking about it Saturday night on the Spawncast. It's going to be really cool. Also, guys, we have quite a few things to get into. We're going to talk a bit about the reviews for Octopath, absolutely. And then we also have to get into Fortnite Season 5, as that is now live. If you haven't seen it, we're going to go over all the changes and details that took place there. First, though, let's get into some of the quick news. I want to start with Epic. Of course, Epic does Fortnite. We'll talk about that. But they did something else yesterday that I think some people missed. And it's great because it's good for creators. And I hope it kind of sets a precedent for other online digital services that distribute games or anything else, because it changes the split between the creator and the service. So if you don't know, most stores, Steam especially, people have actually been kind of ragging on Steam a bit because they call it antiquated, their setup. It's 30%, so they get 30 and the creator gets 70. It's a 70-30 split. It's been like that forever, I think. I don't know if it was ever anything different. Well, Epic has a store that they sell Unreal Engine assets. You, if you're good at it, you're a creator, you can actually make, say, a house or textures or stuff like that. And if you are someone who is coding and creating a game and you're like, I want a house that I can just set up and go, you can go on the shop and buy it from someone else. And then at that point, Epic would have taken 30% and then 70% would have gone to that creator. Well, they're changing it to, at this point, 88 and 12. So 88% goes to creator, 12% goes to Epic. And not only are they changing it, they're doing something that made me do a bit of a double take. They're retroactively giving those different creators money, that kind of back pay since 2014. So if you've been selling stuff on the Unreal Store as an asset creator, it sounds like you're going to get a lump sum kind of deposited into your account or just given to you, because they are going back and doing that. That's something really good for them to be doing for the Unreal Engine service, obviously, just in general. But also, it seems like they're investing their Fortnite money elsewhere as well, specifically into their shop. It's a good move. I hope it makes places like Steam or maybe even PlayStation, Microsoft, and Nintendo kind of look at that as well and say, maybe this 30% cut isn't the best thing in the world. It seems like they could be pretty competitive if one of those three knocks it down a bit. Even if they get down to 25%, that's still something that developers will look at and say, we'll make more money here with, say, Microsoft than we will with Sony, so let's go to them. It's interesting to think about, and I hope something changes with the other companies. It's just good for creators. Also, Nintendo has an official charging stand for the Switch that is releasing today. It released yesterday in Japan on Amazon, but now pretty much everywhere else. I saw it on Amazon for the US. They are also releasing it at like $20, like $19.96. You know those weird, where they try to do those weird like price cuts of like 4 cents or something. It's like $19.96. It's $20 basically. It's a charging stand that's official from Nintendo. I want to make this very clear. It is not a mini dock. People have been asking that. It is just a charging stand, but the charge port on the side, whereas obviously if you put your Switch down in tabletop mode, the charge port is blocked by, well, the table. This makes it so that you can pretty much sit it in there, plug the charge cord in the side, and you have tabletop mode while it's charging. There are things that have done this before, but they pretty much just hold the Switch up and then you still plug it in. This makes it so the Switch is much closer to the table and then you plug it in the side. Officially licensed from Nintendo is a good thing, because that of course means that it is as compatible as possible with your Switch. You don't have to worry about charge malfunctions or anything like that. It doesn't really do much else, so don't buy it thinking you're going to get a portable dock out of it. It just makes it easier. It's an adjustable stand and everything, so you get different angles and everything like that. I'll leave a link for you guys down in the description to the Amazon listing if you wanted to check it out and maybe order it. All right, guys, with some of that smaller stuff out of the way, let's get into some of the bigger stuff, starting with a very interesting set of posts from Nathan Fillion that seem to be talking about something Uncharted related, and it's one of those things where it's just a tease, but we at least have a date for some kind of announcement. There were a couple posts, starting with this one, Drake the rapper, and then underneath of that is a caption, Sic Parvis Magna, and that of course is the inscription that was on Drake's ring that he pretty much carried throughout the game. And it makes us wonder, okay, so it's something Uncharted related, and then they also give the date of Monday, July 16th. So we now have a date, and we have, I guess, a saying that seems to link it to Uncharted, and then the second post appears to mostly be maps with magnifying glass and everything. So now a lot of people are wondering, what does this mean? A lot of people were thinking that maybe Nathan Fillion will have some kind of role in the Uncharted series, whether it's the main casting role or maybe a supporting role or something. People have actually been trying to get him into that Uncharted movie, but Variety.com is saying that that's not the case, so it's not something to do with the Uncharted movie. Maybe it's a spin-off Uncharted game or DLC or something. This is where it gets weird, because it seemed like the movie would make a lot of sense. Slam dunk, okay, easy, all the pieces fit. But if that's not the case, then what is it? Well, apparently we're going to find out on Monday, July 16th. And you know what? I actually hope it's something to do with the game rather than the movie, because I don't really care that much about an Uncharted movie, but I do care about a new Uncharted game or add-on content or something, but we'll have to see. Next up, let's talk about Fortnite. Season 5 launched yesterday. They did add gyro controls to the Switch. If you missed that, you actually do have gyro controls. Whether they're good or not, that's up to you and how they feel and everything. I'm not a big fan of gyro controls. Splatoon 2 is the only one that I've even really used it well or enough. Otherwise, though, I usually stick to either stick controls or mouse and keyboard. Obviously, it's like the best way you can aim around is the mouse and keyboard, but there was a whole host of changes. The map has changed, for example, a lot of items and some other stuff. So let's take a look at some of the patch notes and everything for Season 5, starting with, they have weapons and items. They do tell you things like smaller things. Shotguns will now indicate how many pellets hit, visible with the reticule. And then they've also added some other stuff. A lot of things that I see had to do with things like shotgun, but they reduced hunting rifle aim assist when targeting to match that of other sniper rifles with projectile bullets. Some of the bigger things, though, they did add, what was really funny, all-terrain cart. They have that as ATK, and it's really funny. It's basically a golf cart, which is really fun. I've seen some people use it, and it's really, really cool. The roof they have acts as a bounce pad, so you go flying off of it. I jumped in with a couple of people, and it was really funny. It was like a Mario Kart or something with other people on the, if you do 50v50, you'll see these things going all over the place. The map was updated. They have a new biome, the desert, new location, Paradise Palms, new location, Lazy Links, and a few unnamed POIs or points of interest have appeared across the island. And then the mini map was also updated. If you look kind of in the bottom right of that mini map, you'll see it's all desert kind of down there. And that was the most obvious change that a lot of people noticed. A lot of bug fixes, again, the gyro move aims and everything. And they've just done a lot of stuff in Season 5. Seriously, the list is massive, but man, this is just one of the reasons that Fortnite does so well when compared to PUBG, because they come out with these really big changes. The lore is actually fairly interesting for being a battle royale game, to be honest, and that's all it really is. I mean, the map, you still use one map, but they have changed it, and they've done some crazy stuff with it, like that rocket launch took place, the cracks in the sky. It's just really neat. I know it boils down to being a battle royale game, but with how much stuff they continue to add, I get why it's so popular and why so many people put money into it. There is a new battle pass if you want to buy it. I believe it's $10, and that'll keep you going for Season 5. But there you go. It's a free update. If you haven't logged into Fortnite or you missed it for Season 5, I guess go ahead and jump in now and enjoy the new map, the new features, the golf cart. It's just crazy to see all this stuff. It's really fun. Next up, let's talk about Undertale on the Nintendo Switch. It was announced. We heard about it, but we didn't really see much else since it was announced in the Direct. And now we see Amazon Japan actually putting out a date of September 15th. Now, Amazon, of course, can be all over the place sometimes. Sometimes they're actually dead on, and other times they're just guessing as well. But what's very interesting here is they also listed a physical edition of this game. So if you're a fan of collecting these games physically, it looks like we're going to have a physical copy of Undertale, which is pretty cool. They did put up a price which was almost $40. It was 4,320 yen, which is, yeah, basically almost $40, like 38 and some change. But that is more expensive than the other versions, which I think are $25 or $30. The physical copies for like the PS4, for example. But still, we're going to see exactly the price, what it comes with. Maybe it comes with extra stuff. There's also bigger special editions that I believe are almost $60 on the other systems as well. But there you go. I guess we're at least getting a physical copy. September 15th, yeah, I could see that. That at least makes sense to release to the digitally and then physically. But we'll see. I guess we'll get some kind of date soon if Amazon's at least throwing one out there. Hopefully it's sooner rather than later. Undertale's a cool game, and I'd be curious to see what people on the Switch would think of it. All right, let's jump into these Octopath Traveler reviews because there are quite a few of them, and I have to say, for the most part, everyone seems to like the game for what it is. The thing about JRPGs is they rarely get amazing scores, right? Like they don't blow the roof off the place and start dropping 10 out of 10s and 9.5 out of 10s. Persona 5 was a big outlier for JRPGs, and it was awesome to see because it was a great game and it should be celebrated, and I'm glad that it was with reviewers. Octopath Traveler, though, gotta give it credit. It appears to be around an 84 right now on Metacritic. I noticed it was jumping between 84 and 85 a lot. It's like right in there. That's pretty good, to be honest, for a JRPG, especially one that takes the approach that this one does, where it does look like an old school 16-bit style game, right? Well, a lot of the reviews, for example, from IGN, was actually a 9.3 out of 10. GameSpot gave it an 8 out of 10. Nintendo Life gave it a 9 out of 10. And then on the other side, you have places like Destructoid that gave it a 7.5 out of 10. And I was actually fairly surprised. A lot of places gave it decent or good reviews. Generally, for the most part, I don't think I saw anything less than a 7. And even places like Kotaku that is middling on things like JRPGs recommended it. And yeah, I think this is going to be an awesome game. I'm really looking forward to playing it, hopefully today, whenever that Wayfarer's Edition decides to show up from Amazon. Hopefully it's not a late delivery because they said it could be 8 p.m. It better not be 8 p.m. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm glad the reviews are good. I was originally concerned that some of the reviewers would look at it and say it doesn't look like it should be a $6 game, because believe it or not, I'm seeing a lot of people online at least question its value based on its visual style, which I actually like the more unique visual style, but there are people who are used to the crazy visuals of some other bigger $60 games. Like, for example, the Order 1886 was not like a long game by any means, and it was a $6 game, and a lot of people were kind of dazzled by the visuals, but then they realized there wasn't a lot of content. Octopath Traveler, I get, isn't going to be for everyone because of its visual style, but it's hard to deny its value when we've heard from a lot of these reviews that it's anywhere from 60 to 100 hours, depending on what you get into side quest-wise and everything, if you rush the game or whatnot. It sounds like the value's there, but I still need to play it myself to really give my thoughts on it. But so far, what we're hearing, it's looking pretty good. Then our last bit of news, let's talk about Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee Edition. Some more details came out. There was one that I was really curious about, another one that we kind of knew about, the online service. Is it part of the paid online service? It is. But the other one to me was there are two different versions, which usually means there are different Pokemon in each game. And it looks like they talked about that and actually even told us what the exclusive Pokemon are to each game. It's always been like that for the most part. Back in the day, you had Red and Blue. I remember Ekans, and I think Growlithe, for example, was one. I think Oddish maybe even two, if I'm thinking right. I do know, for example, Ekans was one that you can only get, I believe, in Red, and Blue had its exclusive Pokemon. Well, in this one, they gave us a little bit of a list, and Let's Go Pikachu, they have Oddish, Sandshrew, and Growlithe as exclusive Pokemon. And then in Let's Go Eevee, they have Bellsprout, Vulpix, and Meowth as exclusive Pokemon. So of course these are ones that you can only catch in your game, and then you have to trade them back and forth if you want to collect all of them. I haven't seen anything about ones that you have to trade to evolve. Like back in the day we had to trade like Kadabra to get Alakazam, or you had to trade, there was for Golem you had to trade Graveler, and then there were a few other ones like Machamp, for example. Those are ones you had to trade. I'm going to be curious to see if they continue with that. They also outline that the Pokemon you choose, you don't choose, you get in the beginning. You either get Eevee or you get Pikachu, of course, doesn't really care about evolving, and they don't want to be in their Pokeball. They want to follow you around. That's kind of what we expect. Either way, of course, it's coming out in November 16th, and it's not the hardcore Pokemon game that I think people are hoping for. That's next year. But it's another Pokemon game. It's back to Kanto, and for people like me who are older Pokemon fans from back in the day, it's at least more approachable, and honestly, I'm a little more excited for it because of that. Man, guys, I think that's where we're going to end it today for Newswave. If you enjoyed the video, guys, make sure you hit the like button, hit dislike if not, and let me know your thoughts about all the topics we talked about today. Also, if you're new here and you like what you see and you want to support the channel, make sure you guys hit the little subscribe button here next to me. It does help out and helps continue to grow the channel. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you guys on Monday.